Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be delving into the thought-provoking book 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. Wouldn't it be great if someone handed us a guide which explained very clearly what the rules of life were? Wouldn't that save us so much time and guesswork in trying to figure them out? Well, Jordan B. Peterson believes that a simple handbook of rules for life exists, at least now that he's written it, and there are only 12 of them. This summary will take you through Peterson's rules for living your best life and teach you some unexpected facts along the way. Through the course of this summary, you'll learn what lobsters can teach us about confidence, what flowers have to do with finding the meaning of life, and what skateboarders tell us about human nature. Chapter 1. Get to the top of the pecking order. You've heard of the phrase the pecking order, right? It's commonly used in conversation, but do you know how it originated? It was coined by Norwegian zoologist Thorleif Skjelderup Eby, who was studying barnyard chickens during the 1920s and observed a clear hierarchy among the birds. When it was feeding time, he noticed that the strongest, healthiest chickens ate first and forced the sick or timid ones to wait until there were only scraps left. This, of course, ensured that the strong chickens retained their advantage while their counterparts only grew weaker. The same is true with other species of animals as well. Lobsters, for example, exhibit similar behaviors whether they've been raised in captivity or in the wild, proving that their sense of the pecking order is innate rather than a learned behavior. In fact, scientists have observed that lobsters instigate aggressive fights to compete for the best shelter spots and that this actually changes their biology. For example, winners possess a stronger ratio of serotonin-octopamine while the ratio is reduced for lobsters who commonly lose. This means that the hormone advantage causes winning lobsters to stay stronger and healthier in addition to exhibiting a confident posture. By contrast, their counterparts become more timid and curl up out of fear. And as you've probably observed, this behavior is frequently mimicked by humans as well. People who frequently win at life become emboldened by their winning streak, and this causes them to pursue new challenges with confidence. In fact, that confidence is often what enables them to generate further success. Likewise, those who are in the grip of depression or feel that life is never in their favor are more risk-averse and tend to approach each situation as though they already know they will fail. This in turn becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that reinforces their bleak worldview. So, if you're trying to get ahead in life or break a toxic cycle, the best advice we can give you is, think like a lobster. Strike that confident pose to tell people you're a winner and keep faking it till you make it. Chapter 2. Love yourself as you would others. At first, that saying might sound like it's reversed. After all, isn't it supposed to say love others as you would yourself? But while that's definitely the common expression, it's reversed for our purposes because often, we're better at caring for others than we are for ourselves. That's because we're often hyper-aware of our own flaws, and this awareness can lead to self-loathing. As we dwell on all the reasons we believe ourselves to be inferior, we become convinced that we're undeserving of self-care, kindness, or positivity. Because of this, we tend to focus all our positive energy on those we love, especially our partners and pets, and neglect to give ourselves the same kindness. Eastern philosophy acknowledges these toxic patterns through its teaching on the duality of nature. The yin-yang symbol represents a dark side and a light side, with the implication being that each side contains at least a hint of the other and neither can exist without the other. Eastern philosophy also posits that harmony can only be achieved by embracing both and seeking a healthy balance between the two. This balance can be attained by avoiding extremes, as illustrated by an example of a parent and their child. Let's say that a parent wanted only the best for their child and was desperate to prevent them from experiencing anything bad. However, if they were go too far in shielding their child and thus prevent them from learning about the world or exploring new experiences, they would be hurtling toward an opposite extreme. Rather than being protected from negative influences, their child would simply feel stifled and might rebel in more extreme ways to regain a sense of freedom. Neither of these extremes are healthy, so as you seek balance in your own life, remember not to go too far toward the dark side or to go overboard in an attempt at perfection. It's impossible to be perfect and chaos is unavoidable, so don't waste your time and energy fighting the inevitable. But it's also important that you don't focus only on the things that make you happy. While it might be more fun to pursue only the things that give you warm, fuzzy feelings inside, it also won't cultivate personal growth. So, focus instead on what's best for you in the same way a loving parent would do what's best for their child. A child might not want to eat their vegetables or go to bed on time, but their parent ensures they do because it's healthy for them. So, in your adult life, identify your life's purpose and direction and then make healthy decisions that will help you attain that goal. Chapter 3. Choose your friends wisely. Have you ever noticed how the things your friends say slip into your own vocabulary before you even notice it? It's no surprise because the more time you spend around people, the more they rub off on you. And while picking up your friend's speech patterns might be harmless, it might be time to get concerned if you notice that your friend's toxic habits and traits are influencing you as well. Because we often choose our friends through superficial criteria like common interests or a shared sense of humor, we don't always pause to consider exactly what sort of person our best buddy is, nor do we always reflect on the impact toxic habits can have on our personal development. But negative people and bad life decisions have a scary ability to drag successful people down, and unfortunately, that effect can occur just as easily in the professional sphere as in your personal life. For example, many managers and professors think that putting an underachiever on a group project with high performers will build that person up and encourage them to emulate their counterparts' best practices. However, studies have shown that the opposite effect is actually more likely, and the successful teammates will be brought down by the negative influence. And that's why it's so vital that we surround ourselves with positive people who actively cultivate good habits in their lives. So, remember that exercising discernment isn't the same as being snobby or judgmental. Rather than dismissing prospective friends because of petty factors like their sense of style or socioeconomic differences, you're actively seeking people who will help you effect positive change. And the beauty of such a partnership is that it's mutually beneficial. A good friend won't allow you to wallow in self-pity or engage in negative self-talk, and they'll call you out when they see you developing toxic behaviors. And in turn, you'll do the same for them. Because you're both seeking to improve yourselves and the world around you, your friendship will literally help you both to become your most amazing selves. So, choose your friends wisely. Chapter 4. Beat your own personal best. How often do you catch yourself comparing your success in relation to that of others? Whether it's with the intent to build yourself up with statements like, "Well, at least I did better than she did," or to discourage yourself with such comments as, "I'll never win that award like she did," this thought pattern is beyond toxic. That's because comparison is a killer of progress. As such, it's important to clarify here that comparison and self-criticism are not the same thing. Self-criticism is healthy, to a degree, because it invites you to realistically take stock of your flaws and identify areas where you can improve. This is what motivates us to work towards a brighter, more successful future. But self-criticism takes an ugly turn when it's distorted by the lens of comparison. Because instead of asking ourselves what we can do to improve upon our own personal best, comparison causes us to measure ourselves by the standards of others. This worldview eliminates the moments of incremental growth that shape our journeys along the way, replacing our progress with a black and white filter of either success or failure. And if we find that we don't measure up to others, we determine that we've failed. But nothing could be further from the truth. Because if we were to take a step back and look at the big picture, we would be able to clearly see every part of our lives and acknowledge the small, personal milestones that define our growth as individuals. Sure, maybe your coworker got that promotion instead of you, but maybe, Instead of prioritizing your career, you were developing your relationship with your family because that's what was right for you.